Hey you, it's CovertGo2, and this one might be a long one. It might be longer than my typical video on here, because today we're going to read battles. Because I don't know about you, but they've like I thought battle, you know, there'd be like 5 rare mythic mega battle card types. Nah, they're just making a billion freaking battles in this set. At least that's what it seems like. And every time I'm scrolling through the card image gallery and I'm like, oh, what's this? What's that? It's a battle. I can't be bothered to turn my head that way to read it or try to transform it. And I just been skipping them and not even reading them. And I do need to know what they do. So I'm going to read all these battles here with you. I've got like a bajillion little battles here. We're going to spend today reading battles. Are you along for the ride of reading these battles? There's got to be some busted ones in here, right? Also, shout out to Scryfall for the technology of transforming a battle like this so that you can read it. Oh my God, this is harder to find on the internet than I ever anticipated. All right. Invasion of Belenon, 2 and a white battle siege, uncommon, 5 battle points on it, or whatever. What do you call them? Defense counters. When Invasion of Belenon enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 white and blue knight creature token with vigilance. 3 mana for a 2/2 with vigilance. Not great yet. Now, when you kill it, or when you drop the defense down to 0, you get an anthem. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Yay. Doesn't sound great to me. All right, Invasion of Dominaria. Let's go. So 2 and a white for an uncommon battle siege. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life and you draw a card. Now there we go. Let's gain some life and draw some cards. It's got 5 defense points on there. Now where's my flipper? There's the flipper. Sarah Faithkeeper. It's a Sarah Angel. Okay, so for 3 mana, I get 4 life and I draw a card. This has 5 defense. So how the heck are we going to lower its defense down to 0? Because that's the problem with these things. The reason a lot of them have to deal with the battlefield or create things on the battlefield is because you still need to attack this or reduce its defense to 0. They have revealed some cards that deal damage to battles or remove counters from target permanent. But for the most part, the way that you want to do it is not by spending another card necessarily. You'd love to do it by attacking the thing. 5 is really high. Yeah, this is sus. This is sus. I will still be here when Elish Norn lies dead. Ah! Nostradamus Angel over here. All right. Invasion of Ravnica. 5 colorless with 4 defense, and it's a mythic battle. I see. Some planes are more equal than others. When Invasion of Ravnica enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. Wow, that's just every color gets 5 generic mana sorcery speed removal for a lot of things, and it has more. I mean, that's not particularly like on its own. There's not a lot of decks that want to run that all the time, but let's see what's on the backside. We get this thingy majiggy, a Guild Pact Paragon. This is a 5/5. It's an artifact creature construct. Whenever you cast a spell that's exactly 2 colors, look at the top 6 cards of your library, reveal a card that's exactly 2 colors, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom in random order. There's probably plenty of commander decks and historic brawl decks that this might line up very, very well for, especially in colors that can't deal with every permanent type, as this solves permanent types that don't normally get solved. However, it's probably not a competitive, it's too slow to be a competitive card in most cases. There might be a few niche spots for it, but for the most part, this seems like a very narrow card that works well for commander and historic brawl. Then we've got Invasion of Kamigawa. This is 3 and a blue battle. Uncommon. I'm always going to say battle like that, aren't I? Good lord. 4 defense counters. When this enters the battlefield, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. We remember stun counters, don't we? We played some limited Kamigawa, didn't we? Well, that right there is so far very mediocre. Let's see what the backside does. It is a 2/3 flyer, and when it deals combat damage to a player or battle, draw a card. Seems like a good limited card. Seems a bit too awkward. It's probably not exactly what we're looking for. Man, they really did though spread out all the different kind of type of battle stuff, because we're definitely running the range from like kind of a take on a limited card to, oh, that's a powerful effect, or oh, that just messes with the color pie. All right, Invasion of Segovia. Is that a Norn foot just at the bottom of the sea? What's a Segovia, by the way? 2 and a blue with 4 defense counters. Rare. When Invasion of Segovia enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with trample. The babies, the 1/1 babies with trample. We transform it. We get a 3/3. I was hoping for something huge. Non-creature spells you cast have convoke. Non-creature spells you cast have convoke. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures. Ooh, so you can use them as either instant speed mana and attack, or you can use them as sorcery speed mana and defense. Well, it's cheap. That's good. It makes 2 creatures. That's not bad. The 1/1 with trample I thought would pay off, as it would supply some way to like make them big, but it didn't really do that. Yeah, I'm not that excited about this card either. Like a lot of these battles, it's like, how are you going to get that defense down? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Invasion of Fiora. 4 black battle siege, 4 defense, rare. And when it enters the battlefield, choose 1 or both. Destroy all legendary creatures or destroy all non-legendary creatures. Whoa. We do know that legendary is a thing right now in standard and will be for the foreseeable future. So like the idea of a one-sided board wipe from either of these modes is very terrifying. All right. And then on the back, we get Marchesa, the Resolute Monarch. Commander players be freaking out. Menace, Death Touch, 3/6. When it attacks, remove all counters from up to 1 target permanent. That could be a battle. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt damage, combat damage, since your last turn, you draw a card and you lose a life. It's the Monarch, but it hurts you. Anyway, is this the new blood on the snow? Because what we kind of have here is a board wipe that then has some extra value later, especially if what this does is you have a board of legendary creatures, you cast this, you blow up all the non-legendary creatures, then you attack this. Or you're playing against a legendary creature deck, you blow up all legendary creatures, then you attack this. You can transform it kind of quickly the turn that you play it. That's the kind of mega impact I'm looking for from a battle, where it's actually doable, that you can get the front side and get the back side relatively quickly without too much more going, you know, a specific way. Yeah, this seems really good to me. This seems like the battle worth trying to build a little something around, and there's plenty of issues with it as well. Like making it to another upkeep can be awkward. Removing the counters, do we build around that or do we just let it be? Are we going to be in a matchup where the legendary clause helps us or hurts us? I don't know, but this is the most exciting one for me so far. Invasion of Innistrad. 2 black, battle siege, 5 defense, mythic. Flash. Ooh, it has flash. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -13/-13 till end of turn. Okay, basically dead. So it's 4 mana, kill a thing. That's on its own not great, but let's see what the backside is. Deluge of the Dead. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. 2 and a black, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. That's pretty sweet. So let's see, you flash this in on the great thing about this card is they don't necessarily expect it. You flash it in like during combat on their turn when they've already declared their attackers. You kill the thing you most want to kill, and then maybe this is undefended, so when you untap you can just swing in with like 2 creatures or 1 5-power creature, knock it all the way down, transform it, get the 2 zombies, and you have a zombie maker. Maybe I'm a little too optimistic with the way that all that works. It is, after all, most of the time a 4 mana removal spell that might turn into more value, but this one also seems like it could have promise in the right type of deck. I need to, obviously, new card types, hard to evaluate, need to play some battles, need to see how transforming these things really works. Oh god, so many to go. All right, Invasion of Kaldheim. 3 and a red. Boats. They're on boats. This is a battle siege rare with 4 defense. When it enters the battlefield, exile all cards from your hand, then draw that many cards. Until the end of your next turn, you may play cards exiled this way. Ooh, that's pretty cool. And then on the backside, the Pyre of the World Tree. No, don't burn the World Tree. Discard a land card, 2 damage to any target. Whenever you discard a land card, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. I mean, those are some pretty sweet abilities. 2 damage to any target is very cool. Getting a little bit of, was it? No, not Sulfuric Vortex. Seismic Assault vibes. That's what it is. I really like the front side a bit. Like, the idea that you discard those cards and then you draw those cards, it's until the end of your next turn. So that stuff you discard that's in exile, you do get another untap and then you can play some of that stuff. So if you're discarding 3 or 4 cards, the odds are that you can cast a couple of them and then you do have cards to replace them. So this is a pretty powerful card draw spell in red if you can take turn 4 off, which is going to, like, the cost is kind of expensive, but this card is pretty cool. I like it. Invasion of Karsus. This is 2 and a red for 4 defense, rare. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Boom! Got a little board wipe. It's not exactly a great rate for it. 3 damage for 4 is not great, but it can get the job done. Refraction Elemental is a 4/4 with ward, pay 2 life. Whenever you cast a spell, 2 damage to each opponent. I'm curious if this will make the cut. It kind of depends how many things you're killing with it, but you get the Trespassers, you get the Flesh Gorgers, you get most everything in mono red except for like a Thundering Raiju that put a counter on something. Maybe this card is a little better than I think it is. Maybe it will see some play. Besides, I have to like hold off a little on the evaluation for this video because there's so much to read. Invasion of Mercadia is 1 and a red with 4 defense counters. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. It's like Bitter Reunion. It's another like a red rummagey kind of card. It's only 2 mana for this battle. Mercadia, why are you so cheap? On the backside, though, if we ever get that defense counterness down, we get a 3/3 Goblin Spell Shaper, Kren Flamewright. 2 and red, discard a card, create 2 1/1 blue and red elemental creature tokens. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. That's pretty cool. It's cool if you can do it. I mean, that puts a lot of pressure out there. The creatures don't die. They don't sacrifice at end of turn either, so they're not like spark elementals. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's not bad. That's a cool ability on the back, and it's a cheap price to cast the thing. So, yeah. All right. The Invasion of Tarkir. Oh, another cheap one, and it's a mythic. Heads up. Dragon. Wow. 5 defense counters. When it enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards in your hand. When you do, Invasion of Tarkir deals X plus 2 damage to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed. X can't be 0. Can't be 0. X is the number of cards revealed. Why am I confused? If X can't be 0, it says when it enters the battlefield, reveal any number. 0 is a number. So if you reveal 0, this still does 2 damage to any target, right? But then it says X can... Oh. X can't be 0. X can be 0. The reminder text is what's confusing me because I've never seen X can be 0. I've never seen can be. I've only seen can't be in reminder text. I can't remember a time I saw can in reminder text. It blew up my brain. Yes, it works the way I think it does. The reminder text is what confused me. Reading the card explains the card. Okay. So yeah, at worst, it's 2 mana sorcery speed, 2 damage to anything, but it can scale up for the dragons in your hand. Transform into cool art. Defiant Thundermaw, 4/4 flying trample. Whenever dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 to any target. Very cool. Come and get it, Phyrexia. The dragons are ready. Of course, this is a dragon themed deck mega card, and probably not much else. I imagine it's pretty hard to transform, but it will be a big hit across for the dragon enthusiasts. Invasion of Muraganda is 4 and a green with 6 defense counter, and when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature fights up to 1 creature you don't control. This is really expensive for that ability. If it transforms, you get an Ooze, and the Ooze is a 4/4. At the beginning of combat in your turn, another target creature gets +2/+2 and loses all abilities. I mean, this is not the fight spell I'm looking for to save green and provide it with a good removal option. This is way too expensive. I'm off it. Invasion of Ixalan, Dinos. 1 and a green rare. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 of your library, reveal a permanent card, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. It's kind of bummer that was on the bottom instead of graveyard, or it would be a really cool graveyard enabler. We transform it and, well then, could be anything, even a boat. We'll just move along. Invasion of Ikoria is X green battle rare 6. It counters when it enters the battlefield. Search your library or graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle. I like that it searches the library and or graveyard. That's pretty cool. It has to be a non-human. That's very Ikoria. So yeah, it's a good way to fetch a creature or something. Now we transform it. And we get an 8/8 reach for each non-human creature you control. You may have that creature assign combat damage that weren't blocked. The backside is a killer. If you can actually transform it, it's very, very good. This card definitely is above, it's like a bad rate because you're adding green to the X. So you're getting something that's 2 mana below what it would be if you just cast that card itself. So it has to be really right for the situation, or you have to have a ton of mana available. If those things work out, this card could be good. I could see it as a 1 or 2 of in very specific decks where you can fetch very large and specific green monsters. However, I think for the most part, it's a commander card. It feels like it's going to fit that very well. It might also make it into certain creature combo oriented historic brawl decks. Invasion of Chandelar is 3 and a green mythic 4 defense. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 3 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. 3? That's pretty cool. Get back 3 things, assuming that they're good. I mean, 5 mana for a draw 3 in green that also has more upside as being part of the battle sounds all right. Obviously, it's not quite harmonized, but sometimes getting things out of your graveyard is even better because it's more closer to a tutor if you have a large graveyard. Leyline Surge, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. Oh, that's scary. Now, it's kind of hard to transform it, and then you have to wait till the next upkeep to get the effect. That's not great, but it's very powerful. Yeah, this one is pretty cool. I like the amount of green value in it. In a graveyard themed deck, this could be very, very powerful if you're actually getting to search up really good cards. So yeah, this card gets a passing grade for Historic Brawl and Commander for me. Invasion of Alara. Read the card, explains the card. It's a Wooburg. It's 7. Those things I'm sure about. Let's read over here. When it enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. Okay, so 2 not combined 4 or less, but the 2 cards are 4 or less. Put one of them into your hand. You may cast the other without paying its mana cost. Then put all remaining exiled cards on the bottom. That seems very good to me. It's 5 mana for a good amount of value. You're going to end up casting something that's like 4 or less, but you get some selection as you get 2 choices. So hopefully you can at least get like 3 free mana out of the deal and then 1 card in hand, and that's decent value. Also, if there's some kind of a way to flicker this is a very abusable ETB. Not sure how many ways we have to flicker battles, but it's just something to think about. Awaken the Maelstrom is all colors. This is the backside now. It's a sorcery. A sorcery. A sorcery. Target player draws 2 cards. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. So the backside is like a Sublime Epiphany or a Casualties of War type of mega effect, Awaken the Maelstrom. That sounds sweet. 7 defense is a lot. If you can figure out a way to deal with the 7 defense and get that effect, that sounds like a back-breaking effect, a win the game type of effect. I'm not sure about putting an artifact from hand onto battlefield. This is definitely one of those challenges of getting all modes. But my God, if you get like 4 of these modes, that's so much power. What a cool card. Okay, this is the coolest. I'm not sure it's the best, but it's definitely the coolest. Invasion of Asgal is a black-red. Those colors don't need good cards, do they? 4 defense. When it enters the battlefield, target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and loses 1 life. Well, that's already close. I mean, Angrath's Rampage was not far from this. Yeah, this is already close to pretty good. Also, the lose 1 life thing tacked on doesn't seem like much, but these kind of things add up, especially if your deck is already leaning kind of aggressive. I could already see this seeing someplace somewhere. And then on the back side, you got Ashen Reaper, a 2/1 menace. At the beginning of your end step, put a counter on this. If a permanent was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, the backside's okay. You get a little zombie elemental. It's fine. It's just a little bonus because the front side is already decent. And if you end up unlocking your zombie elemental, good job. Invasion of Kaladesh is a blue and a red and a 4 defense. And when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Cool. Retrofitter Foundry would love to turn that into a 4/4. Let's go. Then the backside is a star 4 Aetherwing Golden Scale flagship. I think I saw this in the recent Mandalorian episode. Is that like some of these ships are starting to look extra spoopy, but it's very cool. Flying, its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control and has crew 1. That's a very good vehicle. And it's a very good vehicle in an artifact deck. Yeah, this might see some play here and there, artifact theme type stuff. I'd want to try it out. Yeah, maybe. Maybe is my verdict on Invasion of Kaladesh. We're getting there, guys. We got like 4 battles to go. Goodness gracious. Give me a comment if you made it to this point in the video. Let me know, yo, I'm like still here. This is your secret time to say something cool and let me know. I mean, let me know if you like these kind of theme videos where I just try to read like all the battles because yeah, it's a bit, it's an adventure. We're having an adventure together. Invasion of Lorwyn is 4 and a black-green. It's got 5 defense. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-elf creature an opponent controls with power X or less, where X is the number of lands you control. I mean, if it's a 6-mana card, you probably have a few lands. So, probably destroys about anything you need it to. And then the backside, Winnowing Forces. Ah, let's go. We ride on deer. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. Yeah, it's a very, it's a very just kind of all right. Like, I don't know, maybe there's an elf deck that wants to play it, get some battle on. Invasion of Moog is 2 and a white and a green for a 5 defense. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That can be good. Anthem effects can be good. Bloom Wielder Dryads is a 3/3 with Ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. An end step Aspirant. Yeah, these aren't usually for me. You know me. I don't like putting counters on all my creatures. I like destroying all of your creatures, but it could see play somewhere. Probably very good and limited. Invasion of New Phyrexia. I know this one. You guys, if you watch my Covert Go Live stream, you know I know this one. X, white, blue, 6 defense. When it enters the battlefield, create X, 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We make some knights. That's cool. Transform into, wait, who? Teferi. Teferi, Akosa of Zalfir. 4 loyalty planeswalker. +1. Draw 2 cards. Then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature. -2. You get an emblem with knights you control. Get +1/+0 and have ward 1. -3. Tap X creatures you control. When you do, shuffle a target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. Every mode requires creatures to be good. Oh, Teferi. Oh, Teferi, why? I know, Wizards. You're not just out to sabotage and hate on control. You do know control mages will find a way no matter what. You're just trying to give Teferi something else to do. Someone else's Teferi, you know? Somebody else gets to play Teferi and feel good about it because they like creatures and stuff, but I just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. The card itself isn't bad. I don't like my Teferi. Look at him. I said it. I know I said it in the other video, but he does look like he's charging like he's never done it before. Like, is this what I do? I point my stick and I run? Guys, please pass me. Guys, please go first. Please, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. Teferi. All right. Invasion of Tolvada. This is a 3 and a white and a black for a 5 defense. When it enters the battlefield, return target non-battle permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Ah, it's a reanimation jutsu. That's pretty cool. And some more upside here, because if you defeat the battle, you get the Broken Sky. And creature tokens you control get +1/+0 and have lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This sounds pretty good, because one thing that you could do is return a creature with haste to the battlefield, which could hit this right away if it has 5 power, and flip it right away into this thing that immediately makes a 2/1 flyer with lifelink. That is untapped and ready to do some blocking. And I don't know, that's a pretty big swing. Is it worth it? You could just be smashing face. I don't know. All of these battles kind of come with exactly that question built in. Is it worth it to attack this thing and flip it? There's also this constant pressure of we need more and more creatures on the battlefield at all times, which you'd like to think would make sweepers good. So maybe control could make a comeback, but all the cards that are coming out are so good against sweepers. They provide so much value just on their own. There's more value to be found everywhere that sweepers haven't been good in a while. So I don't know, man. I'm going to have to figure out this world of battles, and if I want to live in this world of battles, or if I just want to use good old-fashioned blue counter magic and make these battles disappear. We'll have to decide. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the video and checking out all the battles. What's your favorite battle? Do you like battles the card type? Do you think that battle the card type is going to be good, or do you think it's just for Commander, just for Limited? Give me your opinions. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next one. You're cool.